Khan, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone who teach and rule well, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, furnish truth and sincerity. Shalom. In this video, I want to go into this article on antiheadlines.org, which is a Christian-based news outlet which tries to bring out news related to biblical scriptures. But of course, we through the Spirit have to filter out those things that are in fact to be used for the edification of the saints. So this is the title, and it says U.S. and allies continue to warn of unparalleled response if North Korea holds nuclear test. So we know that North Korea is a military-based country. It's secluded from the rest of the world, and it does have nuclear capabilities. So it says the United States, Japan, and South Korea warned on Wednesday that an unparalleled scale of response will be warranted if North Korea conducts a seventh nuclear bomb test. So basically what these countries are doing, America, Japan, and South Korea are threatening North Korea, by telling them, hey, if you're, continuing with these tests, there are going to be consequences to, what you're doing. They call it unparalleled, which means like, a very, a grave response, man. So it says Washington and its allies believe North Korea could be about to resume nuclear bomb testing for the first time since 2017. We agreed that an unparalleled scale of response would be necessary if North Korea pushes ahead with a seventh nuclear test. South Korean First Vice Foreign Minister Cho Hyun-dong held a news conference in Tokyo. So, let us go to Wikipedia and find a little bit about nuclear weapon testing, why it's being done, and things like that. So it says nuclear weapons tests are experiments carried out to determine nuclear weapons effectiveness, yield, and explosive capabilities. So they're trying to build it in the lab and eventually try to put it to the test, see what it's capable of, and whether the thing that they designed it for is actually, what it actually is going to do as well. Testing nuclear weapons offers practical information about how the weapons function, how detonations are affected by different conditions, and how personnel, structures, and equipment are affected when subjected to nuclear explosions. However, nuclear testing has often been used as an indicator of scientific and military strength. Many tests have been overtly practical in their intention. Most nuclear weapons states publicly declare their nuclear status through a nuclear test. So more or less, these countries that have nuclear capabilities are showing off, showing off their strength and their capability of having this nuclear weaponry, giving the understanding to these nations like, hey, we got some serious power in our arsenal. Don't mess with us, because if you do so, we have a way to pay you back. So let us go to the purpose. It says, separately from these designations, nuclear tests are also often categorized by the purpose of the test itself. Weapons-related tests are designed to garner information about how and if the weapons themselves work. Some serve to develop and validate a specific weapon type. Other tests experimental concepts are physics experiments meant to gain fundamental knowledge of the process and materials involved in nuclear detonation. Weapons effects. Tests are designed to gain information about the effects of the weapons on structures, equipment, organisms, and the environment. They are mainly used to assess and improve survivability to nuclear explosions in civilian and military contexts. tailor weapons to the target, and develop the tactics of nuclear warfare. Safety experiments are designed to study the behavior of weapons in simulated accident scenarios. In particular, they are used to verify that a significant nuclear detonation cannot happen by accident. They include one-point safety tests and simulations of storage and transportation accidents. Nuclear test detection experiments are designed to improve the capabilities to detect, locate, and identify nuclear detonations, in particular to monitor compliance with test ban treaties. In the United States, these tests are associated with Operation Vela Uniform before the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty stopped all nuclear testing among signatories. I don't know what that means, but hey, another thing that I want to bring up before going on, in the beginning, it spoke about the scientific and military strength. You see, so it's these scientists, that actually create these weapons. Back in the days, we used to have these blacksmith, that created the swords, the shields, the arrowheads, and things like that. But in this day and age, you have these scientists that create these weapons in these labs, man. And that's Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Because eventually goes back to the Most High, that created all these weapons, man, and especially, the waste to destroy, which goes into these missiles. This Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created a smith to blow the coals in the fire, and to bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So it's the Most High that gives certain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to people. Whether it's in actual blacksmithing, whether it's in creating, nuclear capabilities. You see, this scripture shows that the Most High is in control of those works, man. And it says the Most High created the ways to destroy, which are these missiles, man. Um, so yeah, going back to the article, it says in the third paragraph, it says Cho was speaking alongside his Japanese and U.S. counterparts, Vice Foreign Minister Takeo Mori and Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman. We urge North Korea to refrain from further provocations, Sherman said, calling them reckless and deeply destabilizing for the region, meaning that it's causing um, how you say that? Because it's talking about destabilizing for the region, meaning a certain tension is going to be created, certain fear, you know, because these people, that those Asians around that region that are located there, be like, any day these North Korean can fire a missile, man. So it creates a certain tension between these countries. But these things, man, were all prophesied to happen anyway. That there will be rumors of wars and things like that, which that's a scripture that I have on deck already. But it says anything that happened here, such as North Korean nuclear test, has implications for the security of the entire world, she said, sending a thinly veiled message to Pyongyang's supporters, China and Russia in the United Nations Security Council. We hope indeed that everyone on the Security Council would understand that any use of nuclear weapon would change the world in an incredible way. For the first time since North Korea began testing nuclear weapons since 2006, China and Russia this year vetoed a US-led push for additional Security Council sanctions. So let me see which countries actually did these tests back in the days. Nuclear testing by country. So here we actually see that not a lot of countries actually tested their weapons. Um, the United States, the Soviet Union, which the Soviet Union, consists of multiple countries. Here it says Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Ukraine. You have the UK itself, which is Australian territory, which Australia is a colony of England. You have France, China, India, Pakistan, and North Korea. But all these other countries, they did it, you can see they did it years ago, or there's not really information on that, to be honest. But it says North Korea is the only country in the world that still tests nuclear weapons, and their tests have caused escalating tensions between them and the United States. Their most recent nuclear test was on December 3rd, 2017. You see? So yeah, hmm, that's Korea for you, man. These crazy Moabites, man. These proud as Moabites. Never really known any, you know, slavery. Um, it says North Korea has been carrying weapon tests at an unprecedented pace this year, firing more than 2 dozen ballistic missiles, including one that flew over Japan. You see? So it flew over another country, which is, destabilizing the region. Tension is created. Where is it gonna hit? Is it gonna do the thing that it needs to be doing? Because that's what it is, man. You're testing a weapon to see whether the thing that you designed it for actually works. For instance, you wanted to fly. I'm just gonna make up a number, man. You wanted to, cross like 30 kilometers, or 100 kilometers, but it only goes 75. Meanwhile, you designed it to go 100, but it goes 75. And what happens during that test when that 75, kilometer will be, for instance, in Japan? Then you basically test the weapon. You create an accident that you didn't want to happen in the first place because you wanted to test it at 100. But then you have to deal with the consequences of actually, firing a nuclear weapon, at a different country, man. Which is an aggravation, man. Which is showing aggression towards, Japan, for instance. So it's no joke, It says in September, the USS Ronald Reagan and accompanying ships conducted joint military exercises with South Korean forces in response to a North Korean ballistic missile test in what was their first joint military training involving a US aircraft carrier since 2017. In response, the United States, South Korea, and Japan have committed to deepening cooperation, Maury said. And even if it was not, a nuclear a, um, um, a missile with nuclear capabilities, even if it was just a ballistic missile, you're still showing acts of aggression if you fly it across or over another country. And there's something else that I actually want to bring out in this video, which I'm not saying that this is going to happen in this exact way, but it's something for you to think about. Like, you see the similarities, the fact that these elites, they work with predictive programming, which, if you dissect it, is basically, some sort of prophesying on the left hand side, because they already know what they're going to do. They just put it out there for the people to read and, be like, nah, this ain't going to happen. And meanwhile, you have Yahawashi on the right hand side, who wrote everything down, you know, um, by men who were inspired by the Holy Spirit, and these things are also coming to pass for those to understand, with eyes to see and ears to hear. You see, so this is from the video game Homefront, and what I did, back in the days, I went over it, often, because it shows so much similarity between the thing that's going on in the world, the things that are gonna happen in the world, and the fact that these things are spoken about in the scriptures, man. So let's go to the plot of the video game Homefront, um, and it says the setting and backstory. It says Homefront is set in a dystopic United States in the year 2027. The game's backstory dates back to the 2010s, where there are high tensions between North Korea and the global powers due to the country's military aggression, including its successful nuclear weapons test and the sinking of a South Korean ship. Let me see if this is actually real or if this is just. So this is actually something that actually happened. They put it in the I say they put it in the video game. Um, but you already see certain similarities between North Korea, firing nuclear weaponry, testing it, and in the game took something from real life, which eventually caused the sinking of a South Korean ship, the Chenong or something. Um, you see, but these are things that can happen during these testings, man, and these things can escalate and turn into war. And I ain't saying that it's going to be the third world war because certain things need to happen before that, shall be established upon the earth. We have the sea hip that needs to be implemented before that, and there's still not everything, that is spoken about in Matthew is still not, increasing more and more. That's still happening right now as we speak. It says in 2013, however, 1 year after the death of North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong Il, his son and successor Kim Jong Un successfully led a peaceful reunification with South Korea, leading to the birth of the Greater Korean Republic, and technological and economic global power that comprises the military strength of North and the economic power of the South. By the year 2015, a war between Iran and Saudi Arabia breaks out, both becoming nuclear armed states, devastated the global oil supply, causing gas prices to skyrocket to 19.99 per gallon. You see, so there is a little bit of similarities between North Korea, South Korea, and what's going on over there in Asia. I ain't saying that it's going to happen like this, but I am saying think about it. These people put certain things in movies, series, video games as a way to, predictive program. So this is the game. It's a shooter. I have not played it myself, but the intro is kind of dope. Also, Homefront the Revolution, looks kind of dope. It's a little bit older right now, but hey, you know. So this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6, and this is Yahawashi talking about how, certain things, come upon the earth before his second coming, and it says, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, what we're seeing right now happening as well upon the earth is North Korea, testing these weapons, um, showing some sort of aggression. Um, this also said it over here. Uh, mm, mm, mm. can find it no more. It probably was in the home front thing. But they're showing off their strength, man. They're showing off their capabilities, and uh, America, South Korea, and Japan be like, we have nothing with that, man. Stop with that. So if you continue, there's going to be consequences. So that goes into those rumors of wars, man. You know, if if North Korea continues doing that, it might escalate. But Yahawashi himself said, "Be not troubled, man, because these things need to come to pass. They need to happen. It's just the beginning, of us seeing, what's going on, and hearing about, the increase of wars." Verse 7, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." You see, so nation shall go against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. These things are going to increase more and more. We're also going to see, famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. You can look that up yourself. The biblical famine that's been already been spoken about, in the news as well. Different pestilences are coming up. You can you can look up certain news feeds as well on pestilences. There's an app on earthquakes that shows you every earthquake that took place, whether it's a minor or major. You see, these things are happening all across the four corners of the earth, you know. And the most time must have really blinded your eyes and ears, for you not to realize what's going on. But hey, on the other hand, these people are appointed thereunto. All we must do is prophesy to wake up those and to inform those that need to hear this word. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. This is just the beginning that we're in. Things are going to get much worse. And that's the point. Things are going to get much worse. People think it's going to go back to normal. It's not. It's going to get much, much worse. You see, so hey, Rawchaa, this video concerning this article is edifying. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great Millstone who teach and rule well, and shalom to the sincere Akim, French truth and sincerity.